Today, I want to ask you one simple question. Have you ever decided to start your own independent country? Well, you may have thought about it, but the reality of being able to pull it off is slim to none. However, if I showed you this offshore platform, you might not know that this is actually a nation of its own, the Principality of Sealand. Hello! Welcome to Brain Spill, the laziest show on the internet. My name is Tank, and Sealand is a pretty strange place, and it has quite an illustrious history behind it. During World War II, where Britain faced off against Nazi Germany, they built some offshore sea platforms and erected some anti-aircraft guns on them to stop the incoming Luftwaffe. And basically, after the war, these platforms were unused. They served their purpose, they protected the country, and now that they were just there, sea platforms left barren. Some of these platforms were built technically in international waters, which, to be fair, during wartime, I don't really blame them. One of these platforms, consisting of a concrete and steel construction, was Fort Rough's Tower, situated slightly north of the estuary region of the River Thames on the east coast of the UK, about 7.5 miles off the coast. Following the end of the Second World War, many of these platforms were taken down. However, Fort Rough's remained standing and was just left barren after the war. With no purpose, it just stood alone for many, many years. That was until the early 60s, where the phenomenon of pirate radio started to grow more and more popular. This was happening due to the fact that people in the UK were trying to broadcast their own radio stations without having the proper licence from the UK government. And being the UK, you need a licence for pretty much anything. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if people needed a licence for their own licence. There's that many that you need to do anything that you want to. And, well, getting a licence wasn't that easy, especially because the people that handed out the licences all basically fell under the umbrella of the BBC, the biggest media broadcast company in the entire country. As you might imagine, anyone that has a view that differs from that of the norm would likely go out and seek that from an alternative radio station, which, if caught, would lead you in hot water. So, if you're the host of a pirate radio station, where do you go and set up operation? Well, it's kind of in the name. Pirate. You should probably do it at sea. And where better to do it than go to an existing structure that is outside of the jurisdiction of the United Kingdom. And there just so happens to be a disused platform off the coast of the country, just outside of their exclusive economic zone, meaning that, technically, they could try and broadcast radio to the country without technically being in the country. Sneaky, sneaky people. Since 1967, the decommissioned HM Fort Roughs has been occupied by family and associates of Paddy Roy Bates, who claim that it is an independent sovereign state, claiming that due to it being in international waters, the UK had no jurisdiction over them, meaning they could go and broadcast their radio as freely as they wanted to. The UK government weren't too happy about this, especially because that they thought that someone was trying to set up a nation right on their doorstep, with British MPs even calling it a possible Cuba off the coast of Britain, ordering the Royal Navy to go and dismantle the remaining platforms. The Bates family looked on as huge explosions sent the massive structures hurtling hundreds of feet in the air, and twisted and buckled debris floated past Sealand for days. Helicopters that carried the explosives buzzed menacingly above, and the Navy tug carrying the demolition crew passed close by our fortress home and shouted, "You're next!" with an angry waving of arms. They do like to make this sound dramatic, don't they? A UK vessel actually went pretty close to the structure, but Sealand, claiming this as their sovereign territory, fired some warning shots at the vessel to tell them to piss off. This didn't go down too well, particularly because of the fact that Roy was actually still a British citizen and was called before the court because of the Firearms Act. Roy and his son Michael found themselves in the dock of the Crown Court of Chelmsford in Essex. The judge concluded that due to the fact that this had been occupied on the platform outside of British territorial waters, it was not considered to be part of UK jurisdiction. A win for the Principality of Sealand. This win not only attracted the attention of the media, but also some more menacing characters which decided to try and take advantage of the situation, knowing that the UK didn't claim ownership of the platform. In August 1978, Alexander Achenbach, who describes himself as the Prime Minister of Sealand, hired several German and Dutch mercenaries to lead an attack on Sealand while Bates and his wife were in England, capturing their son Michael. This apparently happened due to a business disagreement between him and Roy over the fact that they should turn Sealand into a luxury hotel. Roy disagreed, so therefore they just decided to take it for themselves. They arrived at the platform with boats and jet skis to take over. However, the son, Michael, managed to take them all hostage because he had guns on the platform, meaning that their attempt pretty much failed and they managed to get caught on the very platform they were trying to rob, which is very ironic. And yes, this actually happened. This was also on the news, and the reason that he kept them hostage was for charges of treason, which, yeah, that's some pretty serious stuff right there. Germany sent a diplomat from the London embassy to negotiate their release, which was successful after several weeks, but put a spin on the visit and claimed it was a de facto recognition of Sealand by Germany. Another apparent win for Sealand. In its 5 decades of existence, only a handful of people have actually lived and worked on the platform, and for it to be recognised as a country, they say that it's always in occupation. Therefore, there is always a single person on the platform manning it and protecting the country at all times. The man that is stationed at this platform at all times is Michael Barrington, a full-time engineer and security guard for the Principality of Sealand. With its own wind-powered generator, this provides enough electricity and heating to power the entire place, and it means that they don't need any external help in order to get the basic essentials to power the nation. I keep myself amused by tinkering around with things and inventing stuff. Getting a 45-gallon oil drum, filling it up with oxygen and acetylene and putting a detonator in there, that's what I call fun. Sounds thrilling. I mean, if you're there by yourself for that long, you've got to find some way to keep yourself entertained on a sea platform in the middle of the sea. Sealand does take some expense to keep running, including an electrical fire in the country, which allegedly costs upwards of $1 million to repair. And as a matter of fact, the official government website is even taking donations for the ongoing repairs and maintenance for the platform as time goes on. We have been making developments to the Principality as well as essential maintenance. Using your donations, we have purchased a new wind turbine and had our original turbine reconditioned too. All of our day-to-day operations are now from 100% renewable energy. We only operate the generators for lifting personnel onto the fortress or if heavy machinery is required during maintenance works. Even to this day, Sealand still stands, and although the country isn't recognised by any other country, it still stands proud. Although Roy and his wife had passed away in the past decade, their son has succeeded them. Constituted a principality, Sealand has its own flag, its own coat of arms, its own national anthem, and it even has its own currency. Yes, you can buy and barter on the platform of Sealand. Sealand even has its own stamps, so if you ever want to send them anything, here is their address. And, well, if you ever do, give them a tip of the hat from old Brainspill here. As well as this, they've even started to offer knighthoods to people, including Terry Wogan, Ed Sheeran and Ben Fogle. Come to think of it, if I play my cards right, a guy that makes videos on the internet could be offered a knighthood from the great people of Sealand. So, you know, Sir Tank has a great ring to it. Okay, that might be a little bit far, but at the very least, I would actually love to go and visit one day. And yes, as a tourist, you can visit the great nation of Sealand. You can either attend via helicopter, or you can get a boat out there and get hoisted up on their crane, which looks pretty cool. And no, I'm not being paid to say this, nor am I Sealand's tourism ambassador. I just think it's a pretty cool idea, a pretty cool place, and somewhere I'd like to maybe pay a visit one day. Get another country ticked off the bucket list and all that. So, the question remains, is Sealand an actual country? This is a pretty hard question to answer, mainly because there are a few different definitions as to what actually is defined as a country. This is an entirely different topic that I do want to cover in a future video, so if you guys are interested in me doing that, just let me know down below. If you like the video, be sure to like and subscribe. If you want to be notified as soon as I upload my next video, be sure to hit the bell button. And if you've got any ideas as to what topics you'd like me to discuss next, let me know down in the comments below. As always, sources used in the video will be in the description. Right, I'm going to go start preparing my formal passport application to become a proud citizen of Sealand. And who knows, maybe one day I'll get that illustrious knighthood. I'll see you guys in the next video. Fantastic.